Hi, today we'll be doing a deep dive on invoices with discounts. We'll be reviewing some troubleshooting techniques and reviewing different kinds of ways these cases can be manifested. So it's really important to know when your invoice has a discount that when somebody says, how do I apply a discount? That it really depends on what kind of discount the client wants to see. So we do have a MindTouch article about that. That's this one at the top. It's how do I make an adjustment or credit in my leads file. So at the top, it's really important to note there's two basic ways for creating an invoice level discount. It really depends on what the client wants to see on the invoice. Does the client want to see the discount distributed into the fee and expense lines? That's option one. Or does the client want to see the discount as a separate line? This may be something you need to discuss with your client. Collaborati support doesn't always know the answer to this question, but we do know some of the clients, and so it may be something that if they don't know the answer to that first question, then they'll need to get some more information. So we do have a couple of examples. So the first example is we have a discount of $1,000 on an invoice, and the invoice total is $3,000. So basically that's cutting it by a third. Some of the customers will inquire and say, how do I split my bill? And so when they say that, usually they're referring to applying a discount. Sometimes they need to split the bill between two different companies, and so maybe one of the Mutual clients is paying a third, and then another company outside of the clientele of Mutual is paying the other 2/3. So if they talk about a split bill, that's another way for them to say, how do I apply a discount? So basically we have two options. We have an invoice adjustment line that's with an IF or IE line in the leads file. And if the vendor's using a leads file, they can simply add an invoice adjustment line, an IF or IE, to adjust the invoice total by $1,000. The IF line will distribute the adjustment among all the fee lines. So we have a picture of that down here. So in this first screenshot, well, this part up here is the leads file. But let's take a look at what the invoice preview looks like. So we have two lines, line 1 and line 2, and the total on each of those lines is actually $1,500 for each. So we have 200 times 750, and we have 300 times 5. So that would give us a total of $1,500. So you can see that actually in the Excel excerpt from the Excel spreadsheet above this picture. And you can see that there's a line item 1 and a line item 2, and then there's a fee. They're both coded as F for fee, and then we see the 7.5, which is the units, and then over here on the right in the line item unit field is the 200. So that's where our rate is stored. So you can see here the line item total is $1,500 for each of those lines. But then when you apply your IF line, you're going to subtract $1,000 from that total. So your total will go from $3,000 to now it's $2,000. So when you add the IF line, you'll have to be editing the invoice total, and you'll be editing this last line here. It's going to be very similar to the other lines with just a few changes that you see in yellow. Additionally, you won't have any task codes or timekeepers for this IF line. Now you can see in the screenshot that there is no line 3 on the invoice preview. So that's because the IF line is actually distributed among the other fee lines. So that's why we see that $500 discount in the DISC field right here. All right, so That's one way to apply your $1,000 credit to this particular invoice. Now there's another option, and the other option is use an expense line or a fee line that's a discount line. Alternatively, the customer could use a negative line entry, such as an expense, and the expense line will be a negative line. All right. So we have some screenshots here at the bottom. So here on the preview page, we'll see 3 line items. We'll see line 1, and it's for $1,500. Line 2, it's also for $1,500. And then we'll see an extra line. That is the negative line. So here we see the rate is negative, the hours is 1, and then we see the total is negative. See here it says negative, expense line shows the discount. Now sometimes the client would want to see this listed as a fee. It doesn't have to be an expense, but we did use expense just to show that it's a totally different line. And so here we have line 3 in the Excel spreadsheet, and it's coded as an E. We have 1 in the line item number of units, and minus 1,000 in the line item total, and we also have minus 1,000 in the line item unit cost. That's corresponding to the rate. So that shows the 2 basic ways to enter and discount. You can get into some more nitty-gritty specifics, but those are the 2 general ways that we normally see. And that's only for Leads 98B. The BIB2 will be very similar, and this doesn't even cover how you would do this in the XML format. All right. So let's see. So it's really important to make sure that the customer knows that it's important for them to know what kind of discount the client wants to see. Additionally, the taxes and discount page is controlled by a setting. This wasn't always the case, but there is a setting now which will I'll show you over here. Let me log in. Okay, so we'll just go to the settings right here, and so if it says discounts and leads are derived from a percentage or a flat amount. So if we save that, we just have to log out and log back in, and then that's how they're applied. Okay, so the discount in leads is now showing as a flat amount. So that means if I log out and log back in, that when I go to create an invoice, and I have my line item. Oops. And then I go to the taxes and discount, then my fee is going to be a flat amount here. Is that right? Yes. So you'll see there's my discount. There is some information in Collaborati about discounts and leads. This is a article that explains how the discount and leads setting will be recognized by the client system. So it just explains that if an adjustment is made in your client's Team Connect system and you've entered that your invoice is derived from a percentage or a flat amount, then your client system will recognize that it is a percentage or a flat amount. So if it's 10% versus a flat amount, it would be recognized differently. We don't get a lot of questions about this, but it is in the system just to explain how the discounts are recognized in Team Connect. Every time I get a question like that, I have to go back to this article and read it. So you're welcome to read it. It is not a common question that we get, though. So yeah, if you need help making adjustments or a split bill, you'll go to this one. This article, how to make an adjustment or credit in my leads file, and that has some good tips on it. This one is not the right article for that. Okay, so if you have invoice level discounts, the IF appears as discounts on all the fee lines. You won't actually see those on the final invoice. So we can see that in here on the final entry. The IF line does not appear as a third line. So we'll take a look at a case here. Let's see. It looks like the initial issue was I run this invoice a few times, tried to submit it into Collaborati, it keeps coming back with errors. I've attached the invoice with a printout of the errors. Can someone help me? Well, I can't see the printout of the errors. Are you able to send the leads file you uploaded? Oh wait, where's the error messages? Oh wait, it's before this one, isn't it? I don't know where it is. Oh wait, it's because it's I think it's there it is. Line item adjustment amount in parentheses 33.00 is invalid. Invoice total does not match. Line item total 33 in parentheses is invalid. So there's a screenshot of the errors, and they said I've attached the leads file that I'm having trouble with. It's a Trinity file. Let me know if you need anything else. All right, so here it looks like she's entered parentheses in the actual IF line. Now if you look at that solution over here, we're gonna just close this one out. You'll see that there are no parentheses. There's a negative number here. So likely they need to have a negative number or a hyphen instead of parentheses. Oops. So yes, I think that might be what the problem is. The IF at the bottom indicates a discount of 33, but it is showing the discount as parenthesis 33 in parenthesis, and instead it should show the discount as minus 33.00. I've attached a revised file. Let me know if you have any questions. So here we corrected it this way. Follow up and then close. All right. So there's a question about the IF line. Line item discounts. Let's take a look at these. All right. Is this the right case? Yes, right here. All right, we have a client, Trinity Health, who has asked us to split fees between two files. So remember, if customer mentions split fees or split bill, then that means that they want to apply a discount. All right, if you're using a leads format such as Leads 98B, you can use an IF line to make the invoice level adjustment. I'm attaching some information on how to use this type of adjustment. If your client wants to see the discount as a single line, you could also use a negative line, such as a negative expense. And so I sent some information similar to this. And I explained, you know, if they want to see, there's two different options. And then a follow-up. All right. Okay, so it is important to note that some clients don't allow line items with discounts. So that means basically that we can go back over here and just look at this as an example. That means that they don't want to see anything in this column, the line item adjustment amount, that is negative. They don't want anything to appear in the discount field that's negative. They only want to see their lines like this, so 0 or blank in the line item adjustment amount. So everything would be coded and not appear in the discount field. All right, so Goldman Sachs is one of those clients. So we do have some internal documentation. Hopefully we'll get this into a more public-facing page, but we do have some information about this in here and in the client notes. To create a flat fee or adjusted line for Goldman Sachs, you'll need to use an adjustment timekeeper. They have very specific instructions here. It's authorized by Goldman Sachs. No rate request is needed for the adjustment timekeeper. Here's a sample. So you can see it has the email address, adjustment timekeeper, adjtk@tk.com, adjustment timekeeper, and the display code is very important, ADTK. And then, of course, they've checked the client, Goldman Sachs here. Wait for the timekeeper to be authorized by your client. The timekeeper should be used for flat fee line items and with all adjustment discounts using the following information. The line item type should be fee or expense. So here it's a fee. Enter the correct GF or GE code. So they need to choose the appropriate GF code from the list. The rate should equal the amount of the flat fee or adjustment, the value of the adjustment. So that's here it's minus 260, and then the hours or units should be 1. So that's here 1, and then the description should include a description of the flat fee or why the adjustment was made. So this is a discount. And alternatively, here's an expense line. Make sure to choose the appropriate GE code. Now you'll note that the discount field on both of these line items is 0. So that's quite important, because if you don't have a 0 in these columns, that the 0 is if anything other than 0 is there, the invoice gets rejected. So that's important, and also the ADTK and the fee code. All right, so let's see. We have no idea what this rejection means. We've gotten it pulled for multiple invoices now. Invoice subject to AFA should be coded GF95. All right, the invoice is showing, rejection is showing your invoice is subject to AFA. Please review the attached document and tips for creating your invoice with adjustments for Goldman Sachs. Note that Goldman Sachs requires discounts adjustments to be submitted using special GF or GE codes, and then the rate would equal the value of the adjustment, the hours would be 1, and the description would indicate why the adjustment was made. And then, of course, we attach the article here. So that's basically the adjustment timekeeper and then your line items. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at another client that doesn't allow line items with discounts. All right, here. So it looks like they said our invoice was rejected for the following reasons. All discounts should be submitted using GS custom UTBMS codes. All discounts should be using, yes. We have submitted the invoice manually in Collaborati. The discount on the bill was to waive off all 3 timekeeper fees. Below screenshot is how the discount was input into Collaborati. Kindly assist. Let's see if there's an attachment. The invoice was rejected for the following reason. Yes. Same thing. Okay. All right. So basically we explained how to enter the discounts for the Goldman Sachs. Now Deutsche Bank is another client that doesn't allow for IF lines or discounts in the DISC field, so we have some information in the client notes about that. There's no ADTK. Should I create a timekeeper? Yes, you should. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so this one is for Deutsche Bank, and they said, could you please assist Michael with the below email? Please provide a sample leads file on how a regular line item discount with Z901 code be submitted. So that's the special discount code that Deutsche Bank uses. Not an alternative flat fee invoice, but the standard leads to with a line item discount showing. Hope this is clear enough. And this is from Greenberg Towering. Well, it looks like the emails are gone. Unfortunately, we don't provide lead samples. Your line item for your discount would be considered a regular fee line. I've copied a fee segment from one of the samples below, from the above website, and you would replace the task code with Z901 as shown. Let's see. Yeah, all the emails are gone. Why are all the emails gone? Oh, it's because it's kind of old, that's why. All right, I'm gonna log out again. Let's see. Let's see what's the next case. Let's take a look at this one. So it says invoice, yes. Here's the initial email. Thank you for your note. Hello support, we have a question from a firm that would like to submit an invoice with a 25% share. So that is another split bill. And how would the system handle a billing unit of 0.025? That's 3 decimals. I've been advised the system would round the unit to 0.03. Does this change the dollar amount for the line item? So the below example illustrates a difference of $1 when comparing the 0.25. So if you had 200 units times this, you get $5. If you had 200 units times this, you would get $6. I'm concerned this may result in an error. All right, hello Danielle. Thank you for your email, for your note. The email indicates a 25% split. That would correspond to 0.25, not 0.025. Can you clarify? Regarding this type of adjustment, it would depend on how the firm is implementing the change. If you use Create Invoice, you can specify an adjustment amount or discount percentage. If the firm is concerned about any rounding issues with the percentage, we might suggest using the fee arrangement alternative fee and then use the adjustment on fee. Or if there are just a few line items, a discount amount could be entered on each line item. A leads file will have a couple of options too. This is not a good case because it looks like there was quite a bit more information on here that we're missing. Okay, I think we should just forget that case. Here. What's next? Discounts should be applied before the tax percentage is calculated. All right, so let's just look at this email quick. I have an example. Attached is our leads file. Below is our errors. You can see it is off by 11 pennies. This is due to Collaborati not recognizing the 11 penny discount credit field, as the rest of the leads file adds up correctly if the discount was applied. All right, and so the respondee said, the issue is that matter level discounts are applied after the taxes are calculated. In order for the tax amount to be calculated, including the discount, you will need to use a line item discount instead. My recommendation is to take the 11 cents from one line item. That will allow the invoice tax to be calculated, including the discount amount. So here we have the units of 1 and the 55, and then the item discount credit is, I don't see it. Here it is, right here. So they could put the item discount credit with the 11 cents here. You'll also need to change the total amount field, which is right here, to reflect any discounts and remove the previous discount. Let me know if you have any questions or if anything was unclear. All right. And okay, just a few notes about Leads XML. So for Leads XML, the matter percent share fees, that is an invoice level adjustment. So you can use the matter percent share fees to put a percentage discount on the invoice. Discounts can also be credited at the line item level in the item discount credit amount, which is what we just looked at. Discounts can be applied at the matter level in the at matter discount credit segment. All of these discounts are reflected in the discount section, the DISC section of the line items, and in the summary. We'll probably need to go over that a little bit more. Let's see if we can find anything about that in this. Here, yes, that's what the one we just looked at, where we use the item discount credit at the line item level. Let's see here. Let me just look something else up here. This is so all of those sections are in here. So the matter discount credit is right here. The segment summarizes adjustments made to the invoice at the matter level. And what were the other items? The matter percent share fees. That's in the matter section. All right, so in the matter section, we have the matter percent share fees here and the matter percent share expenses. And then we also have the item discount credit amount. Item discount credit in the fee or in the expense. And here's in the expense. So these are good for reference so that you know which fields you need to have in the segments for your XML. All right. Yes, so they're all reflected in the discount section of the line items and in the summary. All right, and then we have this case. Collaborati recognizes several types of discounts on the Leads 2000. here. And the question was very extensive. They wanted some help with their Leads 2000 issue. They actually had multiple issues with the Leads file, and so we did send them some information about the discounts. For Leads 2000, an invoice level discount would appear in the Matter segment. So we can actually pull that up here. Oops. In the invoice generic discount. So here's the invoice segment, and then we have invoice generic discount. A value of 0.1 represents a 10% discount. But all the totals on the line items would need to be changed. Discounts can also be applied at the line item level in the discount amount. Okay, so the discount amount is part of the fees segment and also part of the expense segment. All right. The only one that would allow you to keep the total amount would be applying the discount at the line item level, but this would require you to change the base amount. It sounds like she had a lot of problems with her file, so she was looking for a fast and easy solution. Here's an example of a line item level discount. So right here they have the fee, the units, the rate, the base amount, and the total amount. Then if you added the discount, it would show the discount type, the discount amount, and then you have your total there. I would suggest you go back to the Lead software and see if it will generate the discount adjustments for you. This would be extremely tedious to enter manually. So that's a little bit of information about the Leads. That's a little bit of information about troubleshooting invoice with discounts and the different ways that can be answered. Thanks for your time.